When we say it is the jet age, what do we mean? We mean that human beings have discovered a very unique method of conquering the gravitational force through a jet. A challenge of the gravitational force has been accepted and is overcome now. We have in this modern age created not only a jet which has a propeller, if not the propeller, we have got the supersonic arrangement, but also we have got spacecraft which can carry us to the moon. This is a very, very unique discovery, fantastic beyond our imagination. When I was a young girl in the school, they used to calculate, all the girls sitting down sometime, how many years it would take human beings to go to the moon with the fastest train, or at the most an aeroplane that we had in our childhood. And in my own lifetime I can see people have already landed there. We have advanced very much outside through the help of science. The outside expression has been fantastic beyond our comprehension. But the problem arises when a tree grows beyond its sources, huge and big, must seek its source. Otherwise, it is going to die out. This is the problem of this jet age, that we have gone too far away from our sources. And now we must seek the source on which we are existing, and we have to exist. And we must find out the very core of that source, so that such a big organism which has grown out of proportion must survive. If not, the complete destruction is awaiting us. There are two forces always acting and interacting. One is the constructive, another is the destructive. Throughout, since the human being, when he was a poor thing really, at the mercy of the wild animals, grew in fear, later on became a mighty power, and now is conquering all the soils of the universe. These two forces, as I call them, positive and negative, are essential for any progress. But it is for us, the intelligent, modern man, to decide if we are heading for destruction. Are we doing anything to stop? Where are we going? And what are we going to give to our children? The landing of the space craft and visiting the moon, is that all? Or these dead buildings that are hovering all over the places? Jet age has a very big message that the responsibility of man is the greatest. When we work out together to put up a jet or a spacecraft, we have to work out together en masse to bring about the inflow of the divine power that has nourished us and is needed now for further discussion. As I have told you that my knowledge is all subjective. I have not read any books on these subjects. Perhaps I have no time to do that, or I don't need to do that. Of course, I had to know the terminology which is man-made and artificial. But to communicate, one has to know those words. With this subjective knowledge, if I start talking to you, the whole thing will sound extremely fantastic, because you are still objects. Now the time has arrived for all of you to be the subject, to be the witness of that great dynamic force which has brought about the whole creation. When I speak to you, it is through my subjective knowledge. It may not appeal to you today, perhaps, but it will when you will get your self-realization and go deep into the understanding of what I am talking to you. The creation, how it was created, I will be speaking later in that Hindi seminar. But now let us see what has happened in the case of human beings. In the case of human beings, the brain has a triangular shape, and this triangular shape acts like a prism. When the ray of consciousness passes through his fontanelle bone, the tip of his brain, and enters into the personality of a fetus which is made out of the material power. There are two powers, I should say, a material power which creates the fetus, and the consciousness, the awareness, the pranava which enters into the fetus at the age of 3 months. While passing through the brain, it gets refracted. You can see in the prism that one ray that passes from the sun gets refracted into 7 colors. In the same way, this consciousness gets refracted into 3 powers, 3 energies. One energy is to enlighten our central nervous system, which is necessary to look after our body. The other two are the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system. The parasympathetic nervous system is not yet much known to the medical people. When I talk of Kundalini, I talk of the parasympathetic nervous system. One of the energies, these three energies, the one that is the parasympathetic pierces through the central part here in the fontanelle bone, passes through the central part of the brain, through the center of the base of the brain, which is known as Murdha in the Yoga Shastra, which is the place where the optic chiasma is created, and goes down into the spinal cord and coils in 3.5 coils in the triangular bone. You can easily ask me, how do you say that? But now many doctors will support me. Thank God, they are also realized that they can feel it and see it themselves within their own being, the key powers work. It is a luminosity that is visible after self-realization when you reach the third stage, which I call the Soham Dasha. This Kundalini, when it settles down in the triangular bone, why it is 3.5 cowl and all that has a very big meaning. Of course, I am writing a book, I am trying to write a book. So far I have not been able to start it also. Because every time I start writing, I think that it will become another Bible or Gita, and people will start remembering it by heart. And that may stop their self-realization altogether. This Kundalini, when it is settled in the triangular bone, it takes charge of the fetus, and it is responsible for the growth for the entire working of that fetus, and it is a divine force that is all the time settled in that part. This is the Kundalini. The other two I will be discussing tomorrow when I discuss all the Gurudom of India. They are all working on the other this or that. When this Kundalini, just now you have heard the shloka about the Bhagavati, who is the Pranava Roop, is the embodiment of this awareness, which they call as Pranav. It's a breath, it's a holy breath, the Holy Ghost as described in the Bible, who can incarnate also and has been incarnating many a time to save the whole world from disaster. This Kundalini is your mother settled in the triangular bone is a very important point, because this is what has caused the trouble for people who do not know much about Kundalini and who are misusing their half knowledge. Kundalini is in the triangular bone, which is the Mooladhara as we call it, and not in the sex at all. This is a very, very important part, of the Yoga Shastra, which many have missed, even the Tantrikas have missed it completely. That is your mother settled in the triangular bone to give you the rebirth. The other day, a boy from some Guruji came to me and he asked me a question which you should know was very interesting. Mataji, after all, sex is important. We have come in this world for sex. I said, I agree. Now even this is a funny statement, but I said, I agree. But I said, you want to have your rebirth. Yes, he says, I want to have my rebirth. Now, can you have rebirth by doing sex? Can you have your birth by doing sex? He says, no. Then I said, how can you get your rebirth through sex? Just think. Oh, now it is your mother settled down in the triangular bone for you to have the rebirth, and foolishly you are putting sex on her. Can there be a greater insult to your mother, which is so holy? This is again because of this jet age, which is the age of confusion, where the religion and the irreligion, where the dharma and adharma is completely confused. They will prescribe the sex with the mother. That is why you can read many books where they tell you that the Kundalini gets angry and Kundalini gets into a temper and she rises and she does this and she burns you and she does all kinds of things. She will. Any mother would if she is a mother. Thank God in India at least Mr. Freud has not been able to reach us much. We still have our motherhood in our country. Thank God for that. That's something you have really, something so great and important. That a mother should be brought to the level of sex is something absurd. Your mother will even forgive you even if you kill her and murder her. But can she tolerate such a nonsense? She cannot. In this jet age, people have freedom to speak and to do whatever they like. For example, if Ravana was to be born in this country, he can very well settle down here and call himself a god and preach such horrible things to destroy all the Sitas of this country. It's quite possible in the jet age, everybody has freedom to do whatever he likes. Persons like Freud, who were themselves must have been very perverted people of a very degraded temperament as well. Of course, they have been discarded in other countries, but they have left a very indelible mark on the society. And in America, I was shocked to see how the motherhood of American women is completely disturbed and dislodged. They have no faith in their motherhood left. There was we had a boy about 12-year-old who had taken to drastic drugs. But when the child came to me, I hugged the child to my heart and I kissed the child and I said, what's the matter? The child wept like a beaten up and told me that my mother has never loved me like that. And mother told me that, we have a system by which we are not supposed to touch our children like this. I said, what system do you have here? She told me that when the child is born, it is kept away while the dogs and the cats sleep in the bedroom. And the children, they do not know their mother, so when they are about 16 or 17, they'll marry a woman who is 60-year-old, naturally. because they are seeking their mother. Only through marriage you can have relationship with others through sex only, otherwise there is no relationship. This is what the jet age is. Because even the sublimation to the divine has to come through sex. What is sex? It is just like a nose and eyes you have, even much less important than that. So much importance has been given in the psychology to this nonsensical thing is also responsible for killing the motherhood of American women. Not only in America, in most of the Western countries where they are up to it. They are the richest people as far as the spirituality is concerned. They are the people now who have gone beyond materialism and are seeking. But this is the only handicap with them, poor children. They have not known their mother. Why in our country? You know, my husband was with Lal Bahadur Shastri. Shastri ji used to get up every day in the morning, 4 o'clock, and go and sleep with his mother for a while, cuddle her, and then go out for his work. He would never go out from his house before touching his mother's feet. And she would kiss him on his forehead. I have seen it with my own eyes. And there, the woman tells me, the mother tells me that I will develop a guilt. I said, what guilt? What guilt? You are a mother. You are beyond guilt. But this hypnotism of the psychology, though they are poor things now, have realized and they have gone very far with the correction, and they have now written many books on this, but still Mr. Freud is, because it is attractive to talk of something nonsense. People get attracted towards that, and they do not want to give up that idea because it suits them also. But it doesn't suit your Kundalini at all, and that's why wherever you have heard of people getting into horrible experiences of getting burned, falling down, and so many are described in these big books they have written about Kundalini, are all because your mother, which is the Kundalini, is never excited to sex but to the divine love, to the pure holy love of a mother. Now, this morning you have seen I have given Jagruti and realization to quite a lot of people, and I have done that for so many people. You all can see for yourself that sex has nothing to do. Whatever may be the efforts of the negativity to create darkness, one must know that this happens only because the sun has to rise. There is night because the day has to be. And the morn will give you the blessings of the divine. In the jet age, the biggest problem is of misguided sex. Beware, I am not for any suppression or so-called asceticism or the sannyasa or running away from the house and family. That is another extreme. Of perversity. It is an advertisement that you are very spiritual. You have sacrificed this, you have sacrificed that. These are the days of advertisement. Those who can advertise better are attractive. The attention has become so superficial that if somebody is well dressed, we suddenly think that he is very nice. If somebody is not properly dressed, we cannot feel the beauty of that personality. We just cannot. We have become extremely superficial in this jet age. The biggest handicap I feel while giving realization to people is the heaviness on the psyche of the people of this artificial guilt created. That's why in the countries which are very affluent, you will find more people committing suicide, more people running away from reality, or taking to another extreme of sannyasa. The other day some people came to see me and they told me, Mataji, you are living in luxury. I don't know what is luxury. And how do you say you are godly? You know, my husband is supposed to be a very blessed man. What am I to do? But you will be surprised that to a person who is endowed with the divine, it does not matter whether you sleep on the street or you sleep in the best possible place. Such a person can walk for miles together without any fatigue and can rest like a queen in her beautiful court. But I was interested the way these people asked me, so I told them, what have you done to get to religion? I would like to know. So they started telling me, we have sacrificed our family, we have sacrificed our houses, we have sacrificed everything. I said, if I am not holding on to anything, what can I sacrifice in future? Can you sacrifice this peace? He said, how can we? Because it is not ours. I said, who has told you it is not yours? Only thing, foolishly you have registered it here, that this thing is mine. Tomorrow when you die, you will leave your keys and everything here with all the things like, for again the caretaker to come and dispose it off for income tax purposes. What belongs to you? Nothing. What are you to sacrifice? Because you are holding on to that subtle idea that I have done this, I have done that, I have sacrificed this, I am a very great sannyasi, you can never get to the real thing that is inside. You should watch a tree for a living example that a tree grows and the vibrations inside that which are keeping it alive, or the energy that is working in it is just flowing. What does it matter whether it has red flowers or blue flowers or yellow flowers? Doing anything in the name of religion brings you, as I told you, the other energy known as the sympathetic nervous system, which is right and left. The one who is a right-hander, his left sympathetic is active and the right is dormant. Now, in the solar plexus, we have a problem that the solar plexus is connected with both the sympathetic nervous system. As soon as your attention goes onto any activity, you take to sympathetic. And mother has to pass, the mother divine has to come up through the central part, that is the Madhya Marga, is the parasympathetic. Naturally, in the name of religion also you start doing something. And there suddenly you get in contact with overactivity leading to malignancy, or, which is much more dangerous, you get in contact with the paralok, the dead. So, in the jet age when I was born, from my childhood, I was searching for a way out. For all of you to understand that you are doing nothing, it is He who is working through you, and the ego is deliberately created in you to make you feel that you have to do something. And ultimately the same ego is going to take you to your awareness, to your consciousness, to which you are getting your nourishment. Now as this mind is developed fully, in the same way a human being is developed. Fully, completely, to record, to receive, to understand the creation, and to enjoy, and to feel the beauty of love. This connection has to be put to the main switch so that you start off your mind. This is what the Kundalini Yoga is, simple. Now if you ask me the mechanism of this mind, oh, it's a very difficult thing. The engineering I have done, I know your connections, I have to put it to the divine. For this you are not to sit on the fence in this jet age, I must tell you. Because either you come on the parasympathetic or you get to the sympathetic, that is, you get to the dead, that is the subconscious mind, which all these gurus are trying on you, and otherwise through your left hand side sympathetic nervous system, which is going to give you diseases like cancer. Apart from this, the greatest problem of the jet age is this, that before the advent of Rama, Ravana was born, and that's why Rama has to. Before the advent of Christ, Herod was born. Before Krishna, actually Krishna got his birth because Kansa was there. And Bhagavati took her forms always to kill some demon. But I tell you, this killing has helped us not much, because all of them are back again in their feet. This Krishna's Hanana Shakti has only killed their bodies, again all of them are back and with banners, as if they are the God-men. The other day a lady told me that her teacher is a goddess. I said, how do you say? She said, yes, she is a Durga goddess. I said, how do you? When you touch her, she falls down. I said, is that the way to know the goddess? I said in the whole Shastras how she has been described, you should find out that she is a Pranava Rupa Kundalini. This woman doesn't even know what is the Kundalini, and she still is talking about being a goddess. The Kundalini must move on your finger. That is what is a sign of Mother Goddess. Just by proclaiming that you are this and that, only in the jet age you can collect money and publicity, but not can you transform the human being. But who wants that? Who wants to give peace and joy to others? Who is in love with the humanity? Who is thinking of thousands and thousands of people being finished off of their kundalini in this decade? This is another problem of all the Rakshasas being reborn. All the negativity, all the darkness, it's just darkness of Kali Yuga. It is awaiting our destruction. And to talk of positivity, and to think of positivity, sometimes one gives, but not me. Because I know that I can give a mass realization to you all, and force of that divine can be brought through your own beautiful being. And there are thousands who are negative, but there are crores who are positive. And the positivity is going to win over through the system of SahajaYoga, which I have discovered. Actually, I have not discovered it, it was there, but I came to know about it, how it works. The blossom time is there, so many flowers. And the bees have to hover now to just transform them into the fruit. The whole thing is going to be planned and worked out by the Supreme. And I am sure of this, that this age of struggle and confusion will end. But please do not sit on the fence. People always tell me, Mataji, you must give us a speech. Then I start giving them a speech, they will tape record it, they'll write it down. What are you doing? This is a real speechophobia, I call it. In this jet age, everybody wants to give a speech. And people are so anxious to listen to the speech, they will not come for meditation, but they will come for speech. Peace is just a thought. What is it going to give you? My speech means nothing to you. Even the touching of my feet means nothing to you because you are not realized. You cannot feel the vibrations that are flowing through this feet unless and until you are realized. But when I tell this, people say, how can that be? That is so. You have to get your realization. Don't sit on the fence. You are doing the greatest offense, not only to yourself, but to the entire society, to the entire evolutionary method. If this fails in this age, then we will be the people who will be blamed, and a great samhara, the destruction will be there. If you do not get realization, does not mean that others cannot get it. You will also get it. Have patience. Now, so many people have asked me, Mataji, how can there be so many realizations? Why not? Actually, it has been just the opposite. Negativity you catch up like that. Why don't you ask, why should there be so many flu cases? If you can catch flu, and if you catch catch those devils that are sitting on you, their vibrations. Why not the positivity? The blossom time, as I call it, has come. In this Mayapuri, that is Bombay, I've been working for the last 3 years. And with very great difficulty, 1,000 people have been realized. And realization doesn't mean that you have become a perfect man, that you have become a perfect instrument of God. No. Whatever is written in this book is not so. You must see for yourself whatever is there is the scientific way of looking at things. You must find out after realization what happens. It's like the fruit that has to grow. Some people tell me, Mataji, then why do you call it self-realization? I said, what should I call it? Supposing a child is born as a human being, should I call him a beast? It has to grow. And then you have to grow into doubtless awareness and to the Soham state. But in the beginning you get the thoughtless awareness. The inner silence is established. So many books have been written about this inner silence. Do you mean to say that is never going to fulfill? You have been crying and weeping and asking for help. Do you mean to say that God can never have mercy on you? But why this hesitation about something? Supposing tomorrow I tell that there is a diamond for free distribution here. You won't even think twice whether it is diamond or a serpent sitting there. You'll all run. So why this hesitation? It is absolutely free distribution of love. We have no time. People are watching their watches. This is a very good thing that has happened, that we have no time. We are saving our time in this journey. Saving for what? We must save time. They have got watches. We must save time. There was a gentleman who was very anxious to go to London. And he told me that I must go by this street. I said, doesn't matter, go tomorrow. What does it matter if you haven't got it? No, you must organize. And I must. I said, it's too much, but still. So why do you want to go? So he tells me, I have to attend a ball in London. We have never had such dinner parties, such card playing of old women in the club as we had in this decade. Our mothers were much more wiser than we are. Definitely. We have never had all these problems before. The way we are running, all of us like mad people, we are running, morning, evening, running and running and running. What has happened? Why are you running? Why do you stop for a minute? Why are you running? Where are you running? Oh, you have a problem with your business. Now go to America to learn from them that those who have solved most of their material problems are asking for what? Of course, we have exported some of our great things there, putting them out there. Such great sages have been born in that great country, I should say, not in America, but in most of the West countries. And they are doing them completely because we wanted to earn some money here to buy some helicopters to go to hell directly. This is what the jet age is. Man is very intelligent, no doubt, but he has no wisdom of any kind. He has no wisdom of any kind in this jet age. If he had any wisdom, he would have known how to preserve his Kundalini, its holiness and its purity. Now psychologically also, when we talk of symbols, we must know that when you are realized, born into thoughtless awareness, which gives you the collective consciousness, which you must have noticed this morning when so many others who have got realization could feel your Kundalini. To tell me the cycle was heavy, it was burning. You should come and see for yourself. If you can spare some time from cinema, it is very important to some people. Please come and have a look at it. I am not against cinema. I am not against the enjoyment. But you are really not enjoying anything, I can assure you. Not even your possessions which are so beautiful. I have seen a beautiful painting in a house, and the gentleman was telling me I'll pay so much money for this and so much money for that, and I was just enjoying the painting. Because there was no thought in between the painting and myself. The complete joy was vibrating into my being. You are not enjoying even a part of the music that was played today, or you ever played for it. Because the thoughts that are in between teach you to possess it. And also make you jump from moment to moment to another places and take your attention outside. You cannot enjoy the beauty of the creation of matter, leave alone the human being, which is the most beautiful creation which a realized person can. When a person gets realization, those who are realized, when they are placing their hands on that realized soul, the vibrations, reflections of that beautiful soul makes you very happy and joy. The joy that cannot be described. And they just want to say, aha, aha, aha. As if they have heard a beautiful melody, some beautiful raga. And it's of various types and various varieties. Such beautiful human beings are being created in this decade. And what are we speaking? Let us for a minute sit down and think, what are we speaking? Have we got peace and joy which was promised through this possession? I am not against possessing things, as I have told you. It's not on to this extreme or that extreme, I am talking of the Madhyama. But then the people who have discovered that the possessions are of no use, they have become useless. See the extreme. They have started giving up this, giving up that, and then taking to drugs. It is neither in giving up or in accepting, but in standing within yourself that you can see that you are a beautiful soul, that you are so glorious, and that you are just the instrument of that divine love, which cures automatically the other person who is asking for divine help, which gives awakening to the mother, which is waiting for some divine vibration to arrive her, and the signal that now you can rise. This love fills the gap in the man, which I call as voice, and it is physically also visible above the solar plexus. Without feeling, the being with love, with divine love, your mother is not going to rise. You must respect her. You must respect her. And with that respect, when she is blessed with divine love, she rises in her dignity. And when she rises, she doesn't want to give you the slightest trouble. If your heart is weak, it stops. And I know as Sarya Shakti the Kundalini is not moving. And she says, Mother, please cure me. Please cure my child. Otherwise I will not rise. What a loving mother you have as me. And while all these things are said against her, it burns my heart. To your mother you have cursed, You are misused just for your own purposes to such a limit. This is satanic. This is not ignorance, but absolutely. Positively, I can say this is satanic. Don't play it into the hands of Satan. And try to know that you yourself is the most powerful instrument. What I do is just to throw you into your own ocean of power. I don't do anything else. I just pour a little water on the seed of Kundalini which rises and falls. My work is over, and then you find your own way. In the collective consciousness, you pure people. In the modern age, people have got also another idea of search. After the material search is to serve others. Who is the other between you and me? I don't know. Because your attention is outside, that's why you are all separate and divided. But the thread that is passing through is continuous. And if my attention is on my thread, I am on your thread too. Then who is the other? If this hand is speaking this hand, what is the seva you are doing? What is the social work you are doing? All this doing creates nothing but activity. While after realization you look much more active than the person who has been active. You appear much more active, but there is no space because the idea of ego that you are doing something is something different. Even when you are giving vibrations, you say that they are passing. It is going. When these are your hands, why don't you say that I am doing this? No. That is. So the first data of thoughtless awareness can be crossed like that, because between the thoughts there is a little gap through which you can jump into your unconscious being. Unconscious because it is not knowing consciousness before. I do not mean the unconscious state where we call beholding, where you have no awareness of it. That's another kind of measurement. So into the thoughtless awareness, as soon as you arrive, you get the collective consciousness. And the collective consciousness is absolutely automatic. You become an automatic receiver of the knowledge of the Kundalini of that person. And your main interest becomes in life, the Kundalini of other people, because you suddenly move into the Kundalini of others. The fear about Kundalini must be given up. It's like fearing your own mother. If you know what is a mother and her purity and holiness, and if you remember how Sita, the mother, in her purity, would not be spoiled by Ravana. The conception is not conceivable for American mind. No, they cannot. They think it's foolishness, it's impossible. How can you have such a thing like charity? And so many modern people also, they do not think that women could be chaste and men could be chaste. Men could be chaste, it is possible. He is a useless fellow. In a great age, Rama, if he comes, he will be absolutely useless, good for nothing man who cannot even look at other women. This is what the dharma and adharma is completely confused. But confusion is needed for creation. And confusion is always welcome. Through the mud, only the lotus has survived. I hope after this lecture you will not just think it to be a lecture, but a request of a mother who has tried to approach you through the loving words that please do not think yourself, but be yourself through SahajaYoga. There is no other yoga that is going to work it out, I can assure you. All other yogas take you through the sympathetic nervous system. Even person like Buddha, he went round the whole world with all sorts of renunciations and all that. Ultimately, he got tired. And when he was lying at the feet of her feet, in that relaxed condition, the all-pervading mother, the supreme mother, just poured her blessings of him and he got into life. But now, it is possible for you to have mastery. In America, it has worked wonders because I told you so many patients this year in India are born there. And also very successful in Japan and in Germany. England, the problem is people are still quite stupid. But I am sure even there, the new generation has finished off all that negativity. But in that finishing off, they have gone to the other direction. They have gone in a tangent. It is not what you do is so important, or it is not what you think is so important. It is what you are. Are you like a little child innocent? Like, just like the lotus flower. A person who is very serious and who doesn't get his realization, I tell him that go and see my new teacher for 1 year. It's true. You have to be a very light-hearted person. Does not mean foolish, but just the play. Just feel the play. Why are you so serious? I tell a joke that some people who were going by a plane were carrying the luggage on their head. And people asked them, why are you doing that? So they said, we are trying to lighten the weight of the aeroplane. In the same way, we are very serious, doing some great job here. We cannot do anything. The plane that is carrying your weight is carrying the weight of the whole thing that is inside it. The one who has created the creation and who is looking after you is the essence which pulsates in your heart is managing the whole show. This dead work should not put another dead on your head. Just feel like a child. And don't sometimes assume a position where you say, no, you do all the work, but put the whole thing at the feet of the Lord. You cannot. On Gita also I am going to speak in my Marathi lecture, where I am going to tell you what message we are coming about Gita. Gita is nothing but SahajaYoga, but the diplomacy of Gita, which has convinced you of SahajaYoga, and here I am a mother, I am telling you everything right. That the cart is not behind the horse, so bring the horse inside. But Krishna said, all right, if you don't listen to me, go on driving the cart. Till you reach the point and you'll understand it's all wrong, so you will bring the horse inside. After realization, when you read Gita or Bible or Quran, even Jehangir, he was a great man, he will realize that it is not that we have so far understood any meaning of these books, nor have we understood about the Sakar and Nirakar, the abstract and the form. The people who are worried about whether it is a form or it is an abstract, should know that it is both. The abstract that is in you, the unconscious, expresses through symbols which becomes the form. For example, at the Muladhara chakra, which is the set point, what we see is not the Kundalini but Sri Ganesh. What a beautiful child. Sri Ganesh is the eternal child, and by bringing that symbol on the Muladhara chakra, it is suggested that you have to be like a child when you come to spirituality, to your divine mother. But foolish people and some of these half rishis saw the Ganesha. They only saw the trunk of the Ganesha, which was spoiled, and they said that this is the Kundalini. By doing this mistake, they have accepted that the Kundalini is lying in the Muladhara chakra. So the symbols that are not abstract are also suggestive of the abstract, like the flowers are suggestive of the honey, but you have to be the bee. No use talking about the flowers or about the honey. In the modern age, the discovery has come to me because I was bent upon it. First time in my all life, I have felt the need and I have worked it out. I went to many people who still claim me as their disciples because I never said a word. I listened to them whatever they were saying. To ask them how to impart this awareness. And I found out this method of SahajaYoga where the Kundalini rises in the center and breaks your Sahasrara. Many people will note that when you get realization, you get the dilatation of the pupil, which is a sign of the parasympathetic nervous system, which you cannot get through mesmerism or by any method, but through the activity of the parasympathetic nervous system, which you cannot do. Humanly impossible to dilate somebody's parasympathetic nervous system. This is a gross expression, but there are many subtle expressions that will. So I again request you that you and do come for the meditation tomorrow. We are going to have meditations in Bharati Vidya Bhavan. Lighten your psyche and try to rise in your own being. No. Because it is invaluable, what is the first time going to charge for such an invaluable thing? People are telling us, I said, for that, let them collect some money and build the ashram, do it. But why from the sadhaka? Can you purchase it in the market? Marketing the religion, that is the jet age, of which a human being is very proud. But see, where have we landed ourselves? We are even selling our religion in the market and we are trying to buy it. It was all right when some ignorant Brahmins were doing that. But now the intelligent are hit. Please try to come tomorrow or later on in the Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan. And those who are suffering from any diseases,